How we doing, everyone, and welcome back to another movie review with Maka B. We're on the move again, and we've just seen the Forever Purge. Now, I did start filming this review not too long ago, about a few minutes ago, but it started getting a bit of a political rant, so we're going to redo it. So let's just look at the film in general. Very, very good film. Fifth one in this series. Absolutely stellar. I've loved every single iteration so far. So this one seems to focus particularly on, I'd say, racism and equality in America. Now, obviously, one of the big things in the world, in pretty much any country, is two different sides of those that live amongst each other and those that seem to think that they have, a right to dictate who can or cannot be in a certain country. And that seems to be the main focus on this one. So what we have here is it's not so much of a horror film or a thriller as the other installments in this series. This one for me was more action based, but everything we got was still fantastic. Like, so the kills, when we see a vast majority of the kills are very creative, which is much in line with how these films are made and with the kind of things that we can usually expect. A lot of creativity between hand-to-hand combat, weaponry, different kinds of guns, and other ways of creatively taking a life in some sense or another, if that's the kind of thing you're into. But it was a very stellar performance from, I'd say, pretty much everyone. So we have like Josh Lucas. I recognize him from a lot of different films. He gives a hell of a performance, and you see a bit of a twist in his character, because when he starts, he seems to have the same kind of mentality as the people that end up causing this Forever Purge, which, just as a quick bio, so for anyone that's not familiar with what happens in this film, basically, when the regularly scheduled purge ends, because we only see a small section of that, the Forever Purge begins, which is basically when, in that fictionalized world's version of neo-Nazis and white supremacy, that kind of thing is what I was getting from it, are trying to now purge the whole of America and take it back, make it great again, make it white again, that kind of mentality, you know what I mean? And you kind of get a sense of that from Josh Lucas's character towards the start as the normal purge begins. And then I think his character progresses throughout the whole film, bit by bit, until it gets to the end where he realizes like the kind of mentality he was displaying previously is wrong, because the hatred, or actually maybe not hatred, but the discontent, I think might be the right word, he was harboring against minorities, foreign minorities, Mexicans in this case, was ill-placed, because as we see through the progression, Mexican nationals and Mexico in general ended up being his savior. But the film is actually mainly focusing, as well as his side plot, on two Mexican nationals, refugees who were in America during their first ever purge, and are now fighting back and are part of the main protagonists for this film, that are fighting not just for their lives, but against the inequality that they're experiencing. And I think the film, along with like how it does all the other films in this series, I think it had a very strong message. But I don't feel like it was like forcing it on you, because there are some films and people and things like that out there that when they have a particular kind of message, they like to just right up in your face. In this one, I think it subtly suggests its messages at the right times, without it feeling like you're being lectured on something, if you know what I mean. The action sequences, the kills, everything in this film were absolutely stellar. I'm trying to think back through the film to see if there was anything that I probably would have changed or made alterations to, or just removed completely. But quite frankly, not a single thing is actually coming to mind. I think this film was very well put together. If I was going to give this film a letter grade, I would definitely have to say, I'd have to give it an A+, A star, whatever you want to call it. because just for the message it was giving, as well as everything that was involved, there wasn't a single thing I would have changed. Like, you know, there were a few jump scares included, but they were used at the right time. You know, even though you were some of the points you were expecting something to happen, it still works absolutely fantastically. So yeah, as an end comment, I would say I'd highly recommend this film. I would highly recommend checking it out. And I can't remember if I said it earlier in the video or not, but I did make a video a while back about how I feel these films relate to the real world, and if it hasn't been linked up above, then it will at some point. That's all I know. Anyhow, I'm waffling on now, so we'll get to the end of this review. So that was everything. If you've seen this film, comment down below, let me know. But otherwise, stay safe. Have a good day, night, evening, afternoon, or whatever the hell it is, wherever the hell you are. Movie Madness, Maka out.